You're watching ABC4 News.
Following their Thanksgiving break this week, lawmakers return to Washington.
And they have just 3 weeks to tackle a long list of priorities, including just keeping the government funded. Washington correspondent Raquel Martin has more on what we should expect.
Good evening. Well, it really is a race against the clock, especially for Democrats who, after this year, will no longer have power over both chambers of Congress. Now, among their list of priorities is a bill to protect same-sex marriage, to reform the electoral college process, and after back-to-back mass shootings, the president is now calling on Congress to pass gun reform. It's set to be a busy few weeks for lawmakers on Capitol Hill.
There's a lot we must do before the end of the calendar year.
On the Senate floor Monday, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said Democrats and Republicans must pass a government funding bill before a December 16th deadline.
The last thing we can afford right now is to turn government funding into another political tit for tat.
And pass the Respect for Marriage Act.
Because millions of Americans deserve equal justice under the law and peace of mind knowing their right to marry the person they love.
Following a spree of mass shootings in the days before the Thanksgiving holiday, President Joe Biden is now also urging Congress to pass gun reform.
Can you do anything about gun laws during the lame duck, sir?
I'm going to try to get rid of assault weapons.
But on NBC's Meet the Press, Kentucky Republican Congressman James Comer pushed back.
Simply passing more bills isn't going to solve the problem. We need to invest in more law enforcement.
While tackling gun reform remains an uphill battle, Democrats and Republicans largely agree on getting more funding to the U.S. military and on getting more aid to Ukraine.
When we give them what they need, they win.
On ABC, Texas Republican Congressman Michael McCall said Congress remains united behind Ukraine, but warns there needs to be more oversight of the $37 billion in new aid the president is requesting.
We're not going to write a blank check.
And McCall is promising to ramp up that oversight once Republicans take control of the House next year. And it is that power shift that will make things pretty interesting in coming weeks here on Capitol Hill. Democrats and Republicans have to broker several deals to avoid turmoil both now and later. We're now in Washington. Raquel Martin, back to you.
The largest active volcano on Earth erupting again. Mauna Loa started erupting in Hawaii late last night. It's the first time since 1984, but since records began being kept back in 1843, it's erupted 33 times.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Nate Larson. Weather rates certified 11 years in a row.
And Nate, it has been a really busy night for you and really anyone out on the roads today. It's just been coming down hard.
Yeah, and that could continue into the morning commute.
Yeah, glad that we were stuck here at the studio. Didn't have to get out on the roads at all to embrace the snow out there. It's nice to see on the snow stakes, especially for skiers and boarders that maybe want to get out on the slopes tomorrow or Wednesday. As you mentioned, we're not quite done with the storm system yet. Still seeing some snow coming down. This is Cherry Peak Ski Resort. This is northern portions of Cache County. They're closing in on 10 inches now. So lots of fresh snow out there to be had. We had a viewer. This is a shot of the East Sandy Bench. Almost 5 inches of snow on some of the bench areas. Bountiful Bench had 5 inches of snow, 2.5 in Tooele, anywhere from an inch to 2 or 3 inches across much of the Wasatch Front, which caused, again, all the slick roads out there. Temperatures are very chilly. In fact, we're just 16 in Evanston, Logan 23. Good evening. Wendover 29. We're in the 30s and 40s as you head south. St. George still hanging on to 40 degrees. Snow is out there again still this evening. If you're driving at all from areas like Nephi towards Beaver into Cedar City, plan on some snow showers out there. Lake effect snow again is filling in tonight, with heavy snow possibly still expected in areas south and east of the Great Salt Lake. And not just this storm system, we've got more lined up by the end of the week and even possibly through the weekend. So lake effect snow areas that we're going to be worried about or tracking, again, south and east of the lake we mentioned. So primarily portions of Salt Lake County as you head south of I-80 along the Wasatch Range. That would include the upper Cottonwoods. 10 to 20 inches of additional snowfall from where we've been sitting at is expected in the mountain areas. And again, generally 4 to 8 inches. We've already seen some of that across some of the eastern portions of the Salt Lake Valley east of I-15, up to 8 inches of snow. with about 2 to 5 west of I-15. Winter alerts that we do still have in effect. These are all in effect through tomorrow afternoon. The winter weather advisories for our mountain areas, so the bulk of the moisture is kind of tapering off or sliding south, but scattered showers are still expected across the state. And again, that winter storm warning that has been issued due to the lake effect chances of snow in portions of Salt Lake County and the Wasatch Range, essentially south of I-80. So FUTURECAST again picking up on some of that lake-enhanced moisture overnight, expected to form as far north as areas like Bountiful could continue to see some of that lake effect snow. Most of those expected to be just to the south of Davis County. Snow showers, this is 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, should taper off pretty quickly, and we'll just see chilly temperatures with some sunshine out there for tomorrow. And then southwest flow is going to start to increase into midweek. That should help rebound temperatures some, but tomorrow is going to be very cold as we're kind of stuck in the deep freezer with this Arctic air moving in out of the northwest. High pressure builds in behind it. Eventually southwest flow as another trough digs down the west coast will help bump our temperatures up to average highs. It also helps usher in some more moisture and storms. So Friday and again Sunday into Monday, we're expecting more moisture out there. So good news there for ski resorts and for moisture content. We need more showers. No real rain is expected in St. George until Friday, so dry weather continuing. A little cooler tomorrow, just 49. We should be in the mid-50s, upper 50s through the end of the week with some showers in the weekend forecast. Wasatch Front, again, some lingering snow tomorrow, lake effect moisture, frigid temperatures, just 31 for the high tomorrow, 20 for an overnight low. We dry out Wednesday, Thursday. We've got more moisture though, rain, snow showers by the end of the week, continuing into the weekend with just snow Monday next week, a high of 34.
More snow for us.
Love it. Love to see it in the mountains as well.
Yeah, in the mountains, not on the roads though.
Right. That would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, turning out to sports and Dana Green, and what a wild path to the Pac-12 championship.
They are living right, I guess you could say, because the Utes are getting ready to defend their Pac-12 championship. We're going to hear from Kyle Whittingham. Plus, the Jazz begin a long and much-needed homestand. Show you how they did against Chicago next in sports.